All right, welcome to the after party of the You Know What, Let Me Just Say podcast. I'm your host, Ray. Um, Fun fact, even though we don't talk about sports on here a lot, I am a big sports fan, but I don't, a lot of the people you see on the panel don't talk about sports. And I've been trying to get other people here to talk about sports, but a lot of them, they have lives and all that other stuff, so it's kind of hard. So I got my man Tony with me. Say what's up, Tony.
What's going on, peoples?
All right, and the first thing, because I've been wanting to talk about this for like the longest, but like I said, no one else cares, but like me and Tony. So, all right, it's about the Colin Kaepernick situation and the whole thing about him working out and the whole working out situation. How do you feel about that, Tony? I'm gonna start with you. How do you feel about that whole fiasco?
Oh man, I didn't know nothing about the contract at first, but then I just didn't like how Stephen A. Smith just went all negative, 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 negative on Colin Kaepernick without even trying to investigate why he did what he did. And then the other guy that's on his show, the white guy, he brought up better points, better than Stephen A. Smith about Colin Kaepernick. And then when they found out about the contract, that that if he signed a contract, that the NFL is not responsible for anything during the training or after, where he can't sue the NFL again, and he ain't want to sign his rights away. And now it's like um everybody kind of know what's going on. That the NFL is kind of iffy of how they set up the workout day on a Saturday, knowing that teams are getting ready for their game the Sunday. How they had they only gave them 48 hours to let them know for them to do. I think that was like on a Wednesday or Thursday, and then they gave him the contract. Colin Kaepernick gave them a contract back. They said no, and that was regarding the film crew between the NFL and them, that they didn't want Colin Kaepernick filming anything. It was kind of bogus. Um, Even on Charlemagne, he was talking bad about Colin Kaepernick too, like that he made a big mistake about signing a contract and doing whatever and changing the course. And that's why I feel that a lot of black people don't support other black people, always negative without finding the information, because they so quick to jump on what and how he did what he did, that he should trust the NFL. But there was no trust with the NFL before, when he get high in the last 3 years. So how you want to trust him now with the footage, and then they having their own receivers, and you gonna trust them after 3 years after a lawsuit? I thought that's really kind of funny. Now I read on the articles that during the last podcast, that the Carolina Panthers has reached out to Colin Kaepernick. So it's kind of like it kind of went its way, but then it's just like, yo, it was all negative, negative, except for a few people, which I knew in my heart, in my mind, that the NFL is full of shit.
Okay, and here's my opinion about it. There are both. Okay, let me start with Colin Kaepernick's side. I honestly feel like if they would gave him 48 hours, I know when they tell you, if you always say you're ready, you don't have to get ready, you stay ready and all that other shit. My This was my thinking about the Colin Kaepernick situation. I wouldn't have taken it in 48 hours. I would have told you, give me a week, or to give me a week or two. And I know we're like halfway through the NFL season. So, but still, nah, you're gonna give me a week or two, and then you're gonna sign me the paperwork. You're going all that other shit you did in 48 hours. That's some bullshit that the NFL did. I feel like the NFL, like you said, the NFL was bullshit when you do that. You do that 48 hours before, and you're not gonna. I don't know who I'm throwing to. I don't know. I can't have my own recording shit. Now the waiver of him not suing, I expect the NFL to do that, because you're not just gonna sue me if I understand, because you're not gonna sue me if no one picks you up. That's not your fault. But at the same time, I get it. I need to have my own footage, and I want my own receivers that I'm going to throw to because I can understand. Like, let's say, like if I'm throwing a ball and the receivers all of a sudden they're just like not catching a ball or they're dropping a ball on purpose. I can see that happening. Like I don't mind him being skeptical about it, but I wish that he didn't take it in 48 hours and then he's like, oh, I'm gonna move it to a different gym or I'm all the other shit. I feel like paperwork before you even do the physical work, you should have got that paperwork done before anything. And as far as Stephen A. Smith goes, sometimes like a lot of people because this been happening with him all the time where he says something and it's not to the black people's liking and but he gets called a coon out for it. Especially I don't know if you watched today with T.O. T.O.
Yeah,
was like
I seen it.
and he called Max Kellerman. He said Max Kellerman's blacker than
Yeah.
he, and that just you could tell that really dug into Stephen A. Smith as much as professional as he tried to be. That dug into Stephen A. Smith because this is what I'm talking about. A lot of like growing up, there's not a lot of black sportscasters or people in the sports business in media. The only people I knew was like a Chris Broussard and a Stephen A. Smith.
No, what was that doing on
Excuse me.
HBO?
Who was that dude on HBO?
Start for B. Um,
Greg,
Brian Gumble.
Greg Gumbel, Brian
Brian
Gumbel.
Gumble.
Yeah, it's them three, and maybe Jim Brown on Fox
Yeah, Jim
when Jim Brown
Brown.
was on Fox.
Yeah.
So this not like this now. You're seeing a lot more black representatives, a lot of more NFL players or NBA players are now sports commentators. Now you're seeing that. I feel like Stephen A. Smith did break the mold because as intelligent as he sounds, he's still like you can still see the black in him. And this is just me. I felt like a lot of people was just jumping on him, calling him coon, but I also see where he was coming from. It seemed like you don't want to play, you just want to be a martyr. But at the same time, if was on that contract was right, I'm not signing that either. Because if y'all fuck me over, I'm not. If y'all fuck me over and I don't get played, that's I'm going to be the one asked out, not you. Even though you put the money in and you got 28 teams to see who really wants me and all that other shit, it still was kind of like sketchy. So in conclusion, I just feel like he should have got the paperwork done before anything else.
But this is the issue is that they gave him the paperwork that morning, 2 hours before the workout, and it wasn't what they agreed, and they couldn't agree on it. So that's when they decided to switch. And my thing is that a lot of NFL people was like, "Hey, we came all this way, and you moved it our way." Colin Kaepernick was like, "Get in contact with my peoples. I will come to your team. You 3 years. If you really want to see Colin Kaepernick, you could have called him to you. He would have came to you. All the teams. He said he would come to you. He would do the workouts. He would come to your stadium. He would go to your training facility and do whatever. If they didn't do it in the 3 years and then they complain about he moved it an hour away, what's different now, right? And the thing about Stephen A. Smith that Tora Owens was saying was like, we understand what you're coming from. It's just how you said it. He spent like 10 minutes downing Colin Kaepernick on the situation. Like blah 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 blah. And it's just how he said it. It was almost like he was trying to put him down because of what he did. And without him having all the information, it was a setup. Because when the white dude was talking to him, and after he said his stuff, he shut down. He was like, I ain't gonna say nothing to this segment. And then he kept repeating the same stuff like, oh, Colin Kaepernick should have answered questions. He should have did that. He's doing, my idea is that he's playing a card where I'm gonna tell you what you need to know, and I ain't gonna say nothing more. So I won't held laudable with it. They made him go to a stadium They told him 40 hours later, and usually they will let you know what teams actually going to call you. You get the same contract. You could use the same footage. There'll be nothing from from Columbine for college. Everybody's dead. Press is dead. You can bring your own film, all that. So this was a setup that he was thinking like, oh, they want to give me their own receivers. I can record none, and they giving me a different and unique contract, and they giving me 2 hours before, and the lawyer of Colin Kaepernick sent another one in, and they denied it, and that's when they changed review. I mean, they changed the spot to go to, which was an hour away. But the people was there was just like, I I can't make it because it's an hour away. But he made an hour away toward the airport. So even if you gotta go there, you could go to the airport when you leave there. A lot of the stuff they doing is they keep saying where Colin Kaepernick fucked up. He wore a type of shirt. He should be doing that. He should be doing this. And that's the business is. It's like sometimes you got to stand your ground. And he's the type of guy to stand your ground. If he would have signed that contract, he would have everything he would have done would have went away just on that signature. Went away. Just from that signature. It was a setup. You take 3 years and no coaches. His lawyer, not his lawyer, but his agent contact all the teams constantly. Nobody said nothing. Nobody said something. So now is that everything's rushed. They want you to sign this contract. And we want to give you all this stuff, but we're going to control everything. They could have set him up. Oh, Colin Kaepernick, it blew everything out of the water. Everybody talking stuff. It's so many quarterbacks in the NFL is way worse than Colin Kaepernick. A lot of people don't want the drama. A lot of people don't want the drama. The coach for I forgot the heavyset dude. Was it Green Bay Packers? I forgot what it was, but he
Mike
was
McCarthy.
Was it? It was heavyset dude. I think his brother is a coach too.
I don't know. I thought Mike McCarthy was still a coach for the Packers.
No, it was an old coach. Was this for the Chiefs or something? It was it was Rex.
Andy Reid.
No, it was Rex.
Oh, Rex Ryan.
Yeah, Rex Ryan. He was on his show, and he was like, a lot of coaches don't want Colin Kaepernick because they don't want that drama in the locker room. They know that he's a second string quarterback. They want to focus on the first string. They don't want the all the stuff on the second string because there'll be no power in the first string of all the attention's on the second string. And they'd rather just have some type of dude that's a second string, don't know that, and just follow his little, rules to cheer up the number one quarterback rather than the second string. All this shit come into play. And my idea is that Stephen A. Smith jumped out there. And if he had his opinion, they should did it. He mouthed off way too long, way too much about Colin Kaepernick, anything about that for the contract. Then he came on the next segment where he had 2 contracts. He had the one that his team had, and he had the one he had. He was confusing himself about how he was talking. It would make you think it's just like, yo, you want to jump and scream. Don't get me wrong. He's not always going to be right. He's not going to say things that everybody's going to agree on because he's his own individual person with his own opinions. But a lot of times I'm thinking that he's thinking of the corporation rather than thinking on the people.
I mean, Stephen A. Smith, he's always been about money, and that's why I think. How can I say this? When people agree with capitalism, so a lot of people going to think it's about the money. And to me, I don't want to say Colin Kaepernick don't want to play football because it's obvious he do want to play football because he didn't have to show up. Even with all those, he still kind of showed up, even though he moved the stadium to a high school stadium. He really didn't have to show up. To me, my only concern is that before I even step on the joint, I need a contract. And if I don't get the contract or I get these waivers or whatever we need to negotiate before I even step on a football field. And I know, like, even though I haven't been, like, if I was kept and I haven't played for 3 years, you're not going to fuck me over either. And I feel like, as Cap, even though, like, they said, oh, you got 48 hours, I'd admit, to me personally, I'd have been like, nah, no, because I'm not. We're going to negotiate. We're going to sign some papers and all that. You're not just going to do this shit and not giving me no head of time. You still can, like, you could have gave me a week's notice, but 48 hours, yeah, that shit is unacceptable. So that's my only concern. To me, that's my only concern. And yeah, Stephen A. Smith, because I've seen this a lot from Stephen A. Smith's side, especially when he talk about black athletes and everybody was talking about black athletes. There are things that I get it. There are things Stephen A. Smith he say about it kind of like a reach, especially because there was one time he was like, "This is why people should vote Republican," and I'm not a Democrat nor a Republican, but that's just you ain't got to talk about that. If you want to vote Republican, that's on your own accord and all that other shit. But there are things that Stephen A. Smith do say that is right, like especially like the whole thing about weed. And you and I, we don't smoke weed, but I have this argument with people. I have this argument with people that do smoke weed, and they was like, "Oh, weed don't hurt nobody," and all that other stuff. He's like, "I know everything," and I tell him, "I know everything is about weed, and I understand everything what you're saying about weed, but at the same time, it is illegal." And this is like some of the times with Stephen A. Smith. It's like when you're going by the book, you might as well go by the book. You're getting paid millions of dollars to not smoke weed. Excuse me. The least you could do is not smoke weed, because I know a lot of people try to be slick with it, but you're getting paid millions of dollars to not smoke weed, and that's what he was talking about. And it's like, you're not rappers. Like, you're not a rapper, you're not entertaining and all that stuff. You ain't got that leeway like other people. You're actually under contract. You got to follow rules and all that other shit. So to me, with Stephen A. Smith, I just don't throw out. Like I said, I don't like the word coon, because I feel like a lot of people don't know a real coon when they see one. I've seen people like really buck dance for white people. Kanye, like, I don't like calling Kanye cool, but yes, he is buck dancing for white people, like we done said earlier. That man is buck dancing for white people for some reason, and I'm not liking that. I tell people all the time, I'm not liking that. I'm not agreeing with Kanye, and I'm like one of the biggest Kanye defenders. But back to Stephen A. Smith, it's just, I feel like he didn't have to. I feel like him having a different opinion, but you didn't have to just denounce his blackness like that, especially if you grew up in like hoods, like you grew up in. Most people grew up like hoods, like you and I, or Hollis, Queens, where he's from. It's like, I don't. I don't know. That's just my thing on that. What do you think about that?
My thing is that you always meet a lot of people. They from the hood, and then they start smelling themselves. And that's where I
Yeah,
kind of think that Stephen A. Smith, he'll start saying some stuff, but a lot of stuff is he's like the untouchable guy right now. He's the untouchable guy. He's friends with that black sheriff that was in Arizona, that's real racist. That was a Donald Trump.
David Clark.
Yeah, he's
I'm
friends
not.
with him.
I'm not surprised, but that dude, David
He's
Clark,
friends.
to me, that's a real cool.
They
That's the
he got a
cool.
he got a picture with him and everything, wearing cowboy boots. I got that picture. If we want me to send it to you. But it's just like how you. Let me tell you like this. They tell you you judge by the company you be with. If there people telling me if I'm hanging around whole rack of gangsters or I look like a gangster, that police pull you over, then you shouldn't dress like that. But this dude, he hang around this coon. He say, I ain't saying coon, but he say the thing is like he favor more white people to the white people audience. Like he was like wrestling. Like he gotta be the person that against the crowd a little bit when it comes to situations. Now before the workout, he was talking about Colin Kaepernick should be in there, but it's just like sometimes he shoots right. Like he give you just a little taste, but then when it comes to real stuff, he'll start he'll start going left like real quick. And his power is so big because that's his show. That's his show. You know what I'm saying? And he tried to defend himself against Max on the show, but it wasn't going that way. Where you got to bring To in, and To was saying the same thing, which is it was like we understand your opinion, just how you saying it. If I'm talking to if I'm talking to you, and you do something to me, if I come to you and say, "Yo, you did it this way," blah blah blah. And you're like, okay, bet. But if I start screaming at you and telling you not supposed to do this, the NFL are doing all this for you, and you gotta be appreciated, and all the coaches are coming out there. They send all the people to come and see you. It's just stupid because, like I said, 3 years he been working out. He work out 3 times a year. He work out 3 times a week working out. These coaches could have been called him. He said, if you want to see me, holler at me. I'll come there. I'll come to you. I'll let me know. I will come to you. If you want me to come to you, I'll come to you. So now all of a sudden everybody's coming in now. How you gonna have a team? How you gonna have the Baltimore Ravens come in and say Baltimore Ravens interested in you when they already brought him in to the office but didn't do a workout? They don't need him. It's all the publicity stunt. All these white people, these owners are just like, yo, let's just bring them in, tell them we doing it, and then we can make them sign this contract, and that's it. And Max Caliber was saying, like, why is nobody's not talking about what's wrong with this scenery? Why is he's there at the trial and NFL's only using their camera? Why is no press? Why is so unique for this guy, but it has never been like that with anybody else? Why is he signing this contract? Why he's at this facility? Why he got a certain amount of time? Why he got 40 hours? He could have been doing anything in his life, anything playing. He had to stop and drop in 40 hours and get ready. Usually people would give you a time where you'll talk back and forth. And now they could just it's just weird how people how people think that things supposed to be a certain way where you're supposed to just shut up and take it. Me and you been in the military. I never, if let me tell you, if an NCO or a petty officer come and tell me some stupid stuff, I'm gonna think like, okay, you're my leadership, but whoa, why you got me doing this? I'm questioning you. And if I feel need question, I'm gonna ask somebody higher than you. People thinking that, oh, the NFL is this. They the king. They the top of the cream of the crop. They tell you to do something. Do something. They're looking out for you. Now they ain't looking out for you. They screwed you for 3 years, and people don't realize that. I crushed my teeth on how Charlemagne was talking so bad about Colin Kaepernick, and DJ Envy was talking about that without even knowing the whole thing, and never rebutted their information about it. And it's just stupid where you have a white person saying something other than the black person like Stephen A. Smith supposed to be saying.
It's it's funny you say that, especially the Navy shit. Cause I remember like us being in the Navy, you when you ask a question, they go, "Don't ask questions, just do it." And sometimes I have to explain to like the higher authorities. I say, "You're not giving me enough." If sometimes I'm just asking for information. That's the only time when I used to like question people is when I ask for information. Because there's been times it's like, all right, there's a job over there and they want you to go do it, and I don't know, and you're not. Sometimes people don't give you enough information. That's a good time to ask.
Yeah,
And yeah, and with that, and I know people give you the just do like Colin Kaepernick. The fact that he did do a workout, I recommend him for that because it did look like he showed out. But I think to keep it not repeat myself, I think paperwork should have been done before he stepped on the field. That's going to be me. And for Stephen A. Smith, I don't know. It's just I'm just not gonna dig on him in the cool. But I do agree with you on his statements that sometimes he does smell himself a little bit too much, and sometimes you do got to get humble.
so but the contract was still getting negotiated before he got on the field. because they denied the contract. He didn't sign a contract, and when they didn't agree with this contract they sent him, that's when they went an hour away and they did the stuff over at the other field. So
And
it's
yeah, like I said, and
go
I
ahead.
agree with that. I said and this is what I tell people I agree with. If the contract's not to my liking, I said I'm not doing this. And I don't have like I said, I don't have a problem with Cap doing that, but at the same time, it does to me a little bit. It does look like you didn't want to play, or you don't want to play. You want to be a martyr, but a lot of people didn't have that much information. Once you get that's why I like to wait before you get all your information out and then make an assessment of what happened. And I think that's what a lot of people should do: have all the information out there, then make your assessment.
Yes. So
Okay.
on sports again, how you feel about CM Punk talking about WWE on the Fox network?
I would say this. Um, it's funny because I like CM Punk, but I wasn't the biggest CM Punk fan.
What?
But like CM, I like him though. But if you ask me I don't know that whole stint when we was in the Navy and when you and I was in the Navy, I didn't have a lot of favorites. You know who I actually, you know who I actually like. You know who I like. I like Bray Wyatt, but the couple of people I like never really popped off like that. Except for Daniel Bryan, and I like Batista a little bit, but some of the people didn't some people didn't grasp me like that. CM Punk, I always thought CM Punk was cool, but I wasn't the biggest CM Punk fan. But watching him on Fox, it was really good. And but but I'm gonna be honest. Like maybe it's because I watch a lot of wrestling YouTubers. He's not saying much that a lot of other wrestling YouTubers done said. So I feel like he's going to serve a purpose, and like I said, him being a wrestler and coming from a wrestler point of view is really good. But I feel like he's not. I feel like he's going to say stuff that other YouTubers done said already, especially people who don't think the product is as good as it should be.
Yeah, I think the same thing too, but I think is that by him saying it, they may do something because he has a lot of power where if he says something, a lot of people will listen to it. Being that the type of person that he is compared to a YouTube person. You'll see CM Punk could say it on Fox, and that could make or break a segment. Like he was already talking about the Big Dog skit, how it was kind of corny. He talked about how the women's revolution, how it was labeled, it shouldn't be labeled. I think is that I think it's good, but I just want to wait until a couple of more weeks, especially after Survivor Series, and see how he's going to judge everything.
Yeah, and I agree with it. And even then, he was very entertaining. Like him being on Fox, he was very entertaining, especially with the joint with David Arquette, him cutting a promo to Seth Rollins and Tom Arnold. Like he's going to be very entertaining, and I feel like he's going to do well on that show. And you're right. And I say this all the time. Just because especially some of these YouTubers, they don't have big names. CM Punk is a big name. So if you're saying the same thing that CM Punk's saying, maybe they'll listen to Punk because maybe now they listen to Punk, and then if it makes the show much better, then I feel like you don't have to complain about it no more.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
being that he's not entitled to say anything or to be he's not entitled to WWE, so he could
He works for Fox. He doesn't
he
work for
work.
WWE.
Yeah, I was trying to get that out, but I was looking at something. Yeah, because he could say anything and ain't got to worry about handling repercussions of anything either.
Right. So I think that's gonna be good. Well, since we're on wrestling, I know I talked about this at the end of the podcast, but what you think about this build to Survivor Series?
I think it's good, but I think it's just too much stuff is going on because you have the NX, the
NXT.
NXT and SmackDown and Raw and everybody fight with each other. They supposed to be on the teams. I don't know, man. I'm gonna check it out tomorrow and see how it is. I know it's probably gonna be a longer match because then they got three different teams. But the thing I don't understand is it's like they almost about to move everybody where they have three different shows because you have regular wrestlers on NXT. You know what I'm saying? You having
Yeah.
they on their shows, so it don't show no different because you gotta think about it. If them wrestlers move up to Raw or SmackDown, the roster gonna be like it was a couple of years ago before they did the brand split. Where gonna be too many wrestlers on Raw or too many wrestlers on SmackDown. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, and then you got the tag team belts, and it's getting held by people that hold the WWE belt or the WWF belt. It's just, I don't know. I mean, if the NXT got some good wrestlers, especially that female with that nice little buzz haircut. I forgot her name. She's like a daggone beast. Um,
Rhea Ripley.
yeah, Rhea Ripley, yeah. And she still got a little sex
Okay.
appeal. She still got a little sex appeal, even though she looking like that. But I guess we're gonna see. I didn't see because you still got SmackDown coming on today, and see how that is. That's
Tomorrow.
like, yeah, it's 12 o'clock
Oh
now.
wait, it's 12. Yeah, it's 12 o'clock. Yeah, today.
Yeah, you see how that is to see what's going on. A lot of times I've been catching SmackDown on YouTube, just go like the best of the 10 because they be going through a lot of stuff. Um, I think the Bray Wyatt and the Daniel Bryan joke will be good because Daniel Bryan, he got that I don't quit mentality. Let's see how that's going to be. I think they're gonna have Becky Lynch and old girl Charlotte Flair be WWE Tag Team Champions
I pray to God not. I
because
hope not.
the Japanese girl, she fractured her nose.
Which
The
one?
Kabuki Warriors,
Which one? Oscar or Kyrie?
Curry.
Kyrie Sane?
Yeah, she fractured her nose. So they supposed to have a rematch, but they not gonna have the rematch because of her nose. So I guess they probably gonna make them have a tag team. That's why they did the same thing when they had Sasha Banks and what's her name? They hated each other and then they became tag team champions. They became friends and stuff. And it's kind of like they're doing the same thing here. So I guess I would
Yeah.
see.
I personally, I hope the Kabuki. I hate calling them the Kabuki Warriors, but I hope they keep the titles because I don't know. One of the YouTubers says Charlotte needs another title reign. Like I need another kick to the dick, and it's obvious. It's obviously it's obvious that they're running with Becky, and Becky has been selling them merch, and Becky has been like really pushing SmackDown brand and a WWE brand. So obviously she's not. I don't see her giving up the title anytime soon. I don't know what they're going to do with Sasha. I feel like she's a great heel, but no one. But I feel like she's still going to get bullshitted, especially with if they're still pushing Becky Lynch like that. What about Survivor Series though? Like I said, Triple H and NXT, they've really been building this Survivor Series, but when you really look at it, and if you look at it clearly, I think this whole Survivor Series is going to be one big clusterfuck. It's going to be a lot of wrestlers to keep up with,
Yes.
especially a lot of them are triple threat matches. And some people are not fond of triple threat matches. I think depends on who you put in there, and they're not having a champion match like a Adam Cole versus Brock Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt. Obviously, they steer clear to that, but even though I think Rey Mysterio versus Brock Lesnar is going to be very good, But other than that, I feel like a lot of those triple threat matches gonna be one big clusterfuck. But as far as the build up for it, I was enjoying myself, especially watching like people like Keith Lee and one of the Viking Raiders just jumping off and all this mayhem and all that other shit. Like
Oh yeah.
NXT, the NXT Go Home show. That's probably one of the best go home shows I've seen, and them niggas was going all out. Like they had ladder matches. My girl Mia Yim, she was doing a ladder match. She broke her ribs and then came to NXT that next, not the NXT, SmackDown on that Friday. Looked like she was unbothered. So you could tell like NXT is. I feel like NXT is really going to show out this Survivor Series about that.
Yeah,
What do you think?
I think because Triple H is doing a lot more than WWE's doing as far as their storyline and their people. And I think they just probably starting off with Triple H to be on NXT, and then maybe he maybe take over for SmackDown or Raw. And like I like how it's coming out because I don't watch NXT like that, and I'm like a lot of the wrestlers that doing their thing. The Brock Lesnar, the Brock Lesnar and the Rey Mysterio. I think that's gonna be a fast match. I think that because I think he said his contract supposed to be up, and I know his son. I know his son supposed to start wrestling in the WWE. So I think that's gonna be a fast match. Um, but I mean, like I said, I guess I'll see how her thing. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah. And one more thing about NXT, because not only I feel like NXT is really going to get their work cut out because they're working like a week straight. If you really look at it, they've been on Monday. They just did NXT Wednesday. They're probably going to be there Friday, and then they got Takeover on Saturday, and then you got to do Survivor Series on Sunday. Plus War, so you already got War Games, and War Games is going to wear them the hell out. And then you got that mixed with the shit on Sunday with Survivor Series. I said
What's
it's
War
going to show.
Games? Explain. What's War Games? Explain.
It's like two rings inside a big ass cage, and it's just these teams of four are going to beat the hell out of each other. It's like Hell in a Cell with like two rings connected to each other.
Wow.
Uh, they've had war games before. Just the first women's war games, but some of the men's war games they don't beat the hell. When I tell you they beat the hell out of each other, they beat the hell out of each other. So I expect them to beat the hell out of each other in the women's war games.
Wow.
I'm telling you, like I don't know if you watched the Takeover. If you watch any of them Takeover pay-per-views,
No, I haven't.
them dudes. They wrestle. When I tell you they wrestle, they're not like some 5 minute matches and then it's over. Sometimes they be wrestling for like a good 20 to 30 minutes and just showing out. And so especially with war games is at least half an hour and they're gonna beat the hell out of each other. And that's why I'm kind of looking forward to this because it's going to be fucking epic. So with NXT, they're going to be very, very busy, and it's going to show how much endurance they have too, because it's going to be tight. All right. Any last words on that, Tony?
Um, is there anything else about WWE? Other than the people they got on that Fox network, Mia Young.
Me and him.
She's doing a hell of a good job as the as the star of the show on there. I think she's doing better than she doing.
Renee Young.
Yeah, Renee Young. I think she's doing a lot better than she was being an announcer. A lot better.
I think this is more of a comfort zone. I never thought of her as a ring commentator, but her as a announcer, I feel, or like a host. a host, I feel like that's more of her speed. Cause like
Yeah.
a lot of people didn't complain about Renee Young on when she was doing them shows like that, but when it came to the ring commentary, and she was tell you the truth, she just wasn't that bad. She was just
Repeating the same
inexperienced. That's
stuff
what
over
it
and
is.
over. Yeah, it takes a while. And she was already doing interviews before she was the announcer. And this is kind of like she take control of the whole show. I kind of like that. Was there anything else? I just hope that CM Punk wife may show up now. So
Yo, that
um,
might be epic.
she
Alright.
come, yo. I'm gonna get excited because she is sexy as hell.
She is. A lot of
She is
people.
sexy as hell.
Um all right, this probably be the last thing I talk about, then we can wrap it up. What you think about Carmelo Anthony being back in the NBA?
I gotta check that out. I know we talked earlier about the game. I gotta check it out, man. A lot of people. I think this is his last push. I think he probably got like 2 more years. Yeah, 2 more years left. He been playing. He been playing for a long time, man.
Just 2003. He's been in the NBA since 2003.
He been playing for a long time. And you know, a lot of basketball, a lot of people don't play for a long time. And he still got them threes. But you know, you still shoot them threes all you want to, but the age will definitely catch up with you. You know, you gotta ask Tony Parker, you gotta ask all them guys from the Spurs that left that been in it for a long time. But I guess I'll see how that stuff is. How did you see the first game already? How was he?
He was 4 for 14, but he scored 10 points. But at the same, look, I'm not going to. Him scoring 10 points was good and all that other stuff. But at the same time, I wasn't expecting him to drop 30. But he played to me. He played good, and he was actually playing a little defense. He got a block shot. He was doing a little pick and rolls. He got a bunch of open shots, and he looked to me. He looked really good out there. He did like look. He was taking a rust off a little bit.
Who he
So
was playing
I'm not going
against?
to knock the Pelicans.
Mm.
And the Pelicans are actually playing okay. Like Brandon Ingram is actually like having a good season too. So the Pelicans not really slouching, even though Zion is still not there. The Pelicans still kind of look really good with the upside. But as far as Melo was straight. I feel like Melo was all right. That was his first game. He got his foot under him. He looked like he said, "I'm just happy like I get to be up on the court again." I personally think because he's still in good shape. I still think he got like good 3 more years in him. I feel like he can last just as long as Vince Carter. 'Cause Vince Carter's been in since '97.
Yeah, wow.
So I do feel like him and LeBron can like at least do about 3 more years into the league before they retire. But that's just me in my opinion. Like he's in great shape. He's not in terrible shape. He's not fat and all that other shit. He's in great shape. I think him on the Blazers is really good because I don't care what anybody say. Him on the Rockets, I didn't think it would work because James Harden likes the ball, and I felt like if James Harden and that D'Antoni offense, he already been in that D'Antoni offense. I can tell it just doesn't fit him personally. But with the Blazers, what I saw was like they was getting them open shots. He was 2 for 3 from 3 point. So he was getting open shots. He was getting good looks. I just feel like if you get the legs under him and he goes back to the scoring, Melo, they're going to be really a bit. They're going to be really good. And I'm hoping I'm right about that because I'm a big Melo fan. You know that. So you got anything else to say before I wrap this up?
Oh, one more soft subject before you wrap it up. The Redskin tickets. You heard about that?
No, I ain't hear about that.
Redskin tickets are $7
Damn.
on Ticketmaster.
Damn.
$7, my nigga. I could get a fish sandwich from McDonald's. And it could be worth more than a Redskin ticket.
Damn.
You go on
What do you think is
Ticketmaster
wrong?
right.
What do
You
you
can
think
go
is
on
wrong with the
Ticketmaster right
Redskins?
now, man. Cause they don't got no set coach. They got a coach just chilling right now. They got a quarterback that's you hear me? Hello.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah, you got a coach that just took place of what's the name? You got a rookie quarterback that didn't do no practice that much. He just playing the rest of the games for the rest of the season. Um, and they don't got none of their star players even playing in the game. They just got all like they second and third string just playing the game for practice. That's what they kind
So,
of doing right. But for
so
$7 a ticket, my wife told me she was like, "You want to go to the Redskins?" I was like, "I don't know." She was like, "Yeah, the tickets are $7." I was like, "I know. I seen it on Facebook." She was like, "You we could go get some right now." She was like, "Those the higher up seats. It's like way at the top. They're $7. But the ones that's in the middle is like $70, and then one close to like not with the good seats, but behind them are like $140. Where them tickets used to be like $300-400.
that's
So it's
actually
just
about to say that's cheap as fuck. It's cheap
cheap,
as you
cheap,
might as
and
well just get people
it's for
tickets.
the it's for the next game too, and it's for the Giants too. You know they play against the Giants in December. I think that's one of their last games, but that's real cheap. How they got that? How they got them tickets? And it's like you got Haskins and the new quarterback. I mean the new coach. So they just flowing through. I know your team is going through it. They doing big things, but they still suck in my eyes.
um, look, Cowboys. I've been saying this with the Cowboys, and a lot of people look at me like I'm crazy. The problem with the Cowboys is our defense at the end of fourth quarters. We do not shut down like we did, especially the fucking corners with the Cowboys. I've been saying this for like the longest because a lot of people used to blame Romo, but I used to tell people Romo has never thrown over 20 interceptions in his whole career in a season. He has never thrown over 20 interceptions. A lot of your favorite quarterbacks done throw like at least 20 to 25 interceptions in a season. The problem, and I've always said this, it's the corners and the safeties. Our safeties are weak. I felt like that's been our weak spot for like the longest. We don't have people like Roy Williams or Darren Woodson no more, and our cornerbacks are okay. They're okay, but they're not great. Our front seven sometimes it was our front seven they'll show up, but sometimes like the Minnesota Vikings games, they'll just let them run over where we supposed to have this stellar defense. And but as far as offensively, like Dak's been doing good. Zeke, he's been doing okay. He's been doing okay. I feel like he's not been worth his money that he's been paying for, but he's been doing okay. And as far as the Redskins go, y'all have no O line. I've been saying this for like the longest. Uh, since RG3's been there, y'all don't have an offensive line. So how y'all gonna protect somebody that's not gonna get the ball out in like 5 seconds?
Yeah, cause they was
I feel like
sacking him. They was sacking too, but they really didn't care. He was trying to boost him up, but they didn't really care. And what it looks like is they're gonna drop him. They're gonna get somebody else, and he gonna do better on another team.
I see that happening because Kirk Cousins right now is kind of like doing really good on Minnesota,
If
and
he put fire in his ass, man, when the receiver was talking shit about his ass, that my wife could throw the ball better than you, put fire in his ass. But then he also got that support. You know what I'm saying? He's the only quarterback there. You know what I'm saying? Because you had RG3 and Kirk Cousins there. So they was both fighting for a spot. That
oh
was
yeah,
already done.
and I felt honestly when RG3 was there, and I'm been saying this even though I'm not a Redskins fan, I felt like RG3 should have never lost that spot. But at the same time, I was saying like it seemed like they was never blocking for RG3.
Oh, now they were setting that dude up.
I've been saying, and I said that I've been saying this all the time, especially since Patrick Ramsey was y'all quarterback, and my teacher used to call him picked off Ramsey. It's like, what's the
Picked up Ramsey.
yeah? It was funny, but it's like they don't block. They do not block whatsoever,
Yeah,
and I feel like a lot of your like y'all had great receivers. Santana Moss was a fucking great receiver. Y'all
yeah.
had great tight ends too. I forgot what's his name. Chris Cooley. Chris Cooley
Chris
is hard to
Cooley.
fucking stop.
Yeah,
Chris
Chris
Cooley is
Cooley.
hard to fucking stop.
Yeah.
Y'all had receivers. Hell, y'all had running backs with Clinton Portis. Not a big Clinton Portis fan, but I give that man respect. Y'all had what's the other dude? Alfred Morris. Alfred Morris, that's a big boy.
Yeah,
Y'all
but
had these people.
he started fumbling like real big, like a lot, like
He did.
toast in the red zone.
Yeah, and
Cause
I can see why you did him.
y'all had him too, and he fumbled.
Yeah, and we dropped him. We dropped him. Um, but I always said y'all problems being your offensive lineman, and it's been showing. And
Did
I don't know. I feel like as soon as someone goes in and fix your O line, y'all be straight.
I think that they're trying to get rid of the general manager and the owner, cause you know the owner be trying to tell the coaches what they need, what player they need to get, rather than the coach decide. Because they wasn't trying to get Haskins at first. They was going to get somebody in the O line. But he pressured him to get that stuff. So I don't know, man. But you know, you seen that video when people telling Snyder sell the team during last
Uh,
week's game?
I haven't seen a video, but I can see people saying sell the team because a lot of people
They
don't
their
like Dan
whole
Snyder.
all the Redskin people that was in the stands from the last game was telling them to sell the team. They haven't scored. They just scored a touchdown when everybody left, but they ain't scored a touchdown in 5 quarters, 5 or 7 quarters.
Mm,
All field goals, man. All field goals.
that's sad. That's sad.
That's why $7, man. But that's really all I gotta say about that. But my wife's like, she wanted to get the tickets. I was like, nah, I may go to the restaurant and look at this WWE junk and make see what's up with this junk. But man, that's all I gotta say, man. I want to go to a game where there's a little bit better. I want to go to the game where it's a little bit better, and the crowd is better and a lot of momentum, rather than having rather than
You business is still here. They want
yeah,
I told you, didn't I tell you?
yeah, man. Rather than having, a lot of people leaving, because everybody was leaving like off the third and fourth quarter. Hey man, that joint looked like it was a mad game. That joint looked like it was 57-3. So,
what are y'all talking about now?
how
We was talking about the
the Redskins, they last
Yeah.
game.
It, it, it. Selling tickets for $4.
Yeah, I just told Raymond that they selling the tickets for $7 on Ticketmaster.
And I think somewhere it said $4.
What? See, they about to, they
Now on
about to.
Ticketmaster, it's just $4.
I think police gonna start giving you tickets if you speed and just start giving you Redskin tickets.
I'm gonna give you a ticket to this Redskin game. It's like, nigga, just write me up. Just write-
You better show up. You better show your support.
Did y'all talk about Stephen A. Smith and Colin Kaepernick? I'm sure that's probably the first thing y'all talked about.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's the
What,
first thing I'm talking about. You
what,
want to
what?
put your 2 cents on it?
Yeah, well, I didn't really hear all of Stephen A. Smith's comments, but that's because I started tuning them out after a while. But I don't know. From taking it from all like people that have been there, and I'm sure Colin Kaepernick wasn't the only one that decided he shouldn't sign that waiver. It was probably his lawyer too. I don't know. From the way that a lot of people are painting it, it sounds like a setup. I'm not sure, but from what I hear, a lot of people say that waiver wasn't standard. I think somewhere they said it was 358% thicker than it normally is, or more added to it. They didn't inform the receivers, and there was supposed to be no media access during the workout or something. And if all of that is true, that sounds suspect to me. And I wouldn't sign nothing like that. And all three of us been in the military. I'm sure we all, after being in there, we're a little worried of what we find nowadays.
Oh yeah.
I told like I told Tony, I wouldn't even went. I said you're giving me at least a week notice, not no 48 hours. Yeah, I'm getting at least a week or two notice. I know we're in like the middle of the football season, but I'm getting at least a week or two notice before I do anything. And before I step on the field, we're going to get paperwork done to where both of us is cool.
Yeah, but like I was
Yeah,
saying earlier, they was telling him this is the only thing we doing. You either take it or leave it in the 48 hours, and he had no choice. He was like, I'm gonna take it. Now they're trying to
me,
squeeze
I'd have
that
left it.
contract in.
I probably left it. Because you're
I
not
mean,
going to
that's
fuck
what he
me over.
did. Yeah, I mean, that's what he did.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I wasn't having no problem with that. And also, first Black Ginger, we was also talking about the Survivor Series card and what you think about that. Because I said, as much as the build up is nice, I feel like it's going to be a clusterfuck with all those people there.
Yeah, especially the elimination matches where I feel like they should have did. One, you know what? I was talking to somebody in that wrestling group, the wrestling community, and he pointed out, you know, since they restarted the split back in 2016, these brand supremacy things really don't mean sense, especially since, you know, you can end up in anyone any given day all of a sudden. And what's your motive behind it for being on the team? Like, what really is your motive? What are you getting? Especially if you're a champ already, what are you getting? So I already don't like the brand supremacy thing. And if they were to do it, they should have did main roster versus NXT. But they did you know, they doing NXT versus SmackDown. I'm sure they're not even sure how they're gonna do those triple threat elimination match where it be one person from each team, and whoever gets the pin, both of those people are eliminated, or the person just who got pinned eliminated. If we do the person just got pinned eliminated, that's gonna take forever. Or if we do the one-on-one tagging thing that they normally do for tag fatal fours, which I hate. I always prefer the tornado tag matches because it makes no sense, especially in triple threat tag team matches or more. Because in triple threat, there's no disqualification. So how am I gonna get disqualified? How are we gonna get disqualified if our partners get into the ring? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how they're going that. Yeah, I think that would have been a better way of doing it. Or, you know, we could have just had the Survivor Series matches and it could have been something, you know, it could have been something better to the story, like Triple H and Vince putting up a bet, and whoever decides to join their teams, you know, get a future, as they say, championship opportunity or something. Or if you are a champion, you're on the team, we let you in your next title defense. You get to pick your stipulation or something.
Or maybe you win the match and you go to main roster if you're on the NXT brand.
But that makes no sense, Tony. We talking about brand supremacy, right? If we talking
Oh
brand
yeah,
supremacy,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah,
but in the
yeah,
way
yeah.
you said it, yeah, I get it. If you,
I feel like for brand supremacy, they should do it like what baseball does with the wild card or the All Star game. Is like whatever division wins, they get the World Series. They get home field advantage of the World Series. I feel like with that, especially with Raw and SmackDown, whoever wins gets the main event. The champion gets the main event WrestleMania. But I feel like you do that with the.
that kind of that would kind of
Go ahead.
counteract Royal Rumble stipulation.
No. Like no, just like how could I say this? Like if Raw and SmackDown were battling, like let's say Raw and SmackDown, the champions from Raw and SmackDown, they were battling, right? All right, that Survivor Series game, if they win, because like even with the Royal Rumble, they had to pick whoever they got a challenge. But in Survivor Series, whoever wins between Raw and SmackDown, let's say Raw wins, Raw gets the main event spot in WrestleMania. So I feel like that would work in a way.
So if Raw, we say Raw when they get the main event spot, you're saying whoever win the Royal Rumble challenges that spot? Because
Okay, all
I'm
right.
confused.
Because all right, Survivor Series is first, right? And all right, let's put NXT out of this. This is Raw versus SmackDown. Survivor. This is how I'm saying it. Survivor Series, Raw versus SmackDown. Let's say Raw beats SmackDown. Raw gets the last spot in WrestleMania, which is the main event spot. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now we're going on to Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble, you know how the Royal Rumble works. The last person in gets the chance to main event WrestleMania. But since we talk about brand supremacy, what champion do you want to go for? Do you want to go for Raw Championship or do you want to go for SmackDown Championship? If he goes for SmackDown Championship, he can let's say he goes to SmackDown, he's not going to get that main event roster, but he's still going to get that championship match.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you get what I'm saying? Now you got Elimination Chamber. You already know how Elimination Chamber is. Elimination Chamber should be for the, let's say, SmackDown. Since SmackDown lost, he has to defend his title for that. And whoever's like the number one contender for that goes to main event WrestleMania.
Oh,
You understand what I'm doing?
Mm-hmm. It sounds like a lot of convolution to me, but I kind of get it.
it could be where whoever wins brand supremacy, the people on that team will have to go against each other for a chance to win a W for the champion belt.
That's what I'm saying for Elimination Chamber. That's what I was thinking of.
So
Okay.
That would be
So the players on Raw, if they win, the 5 people that are on Raw, they would compete for whoever will be the number one contender for the WWE champion.
right. I feel like if
or they could create
Go
a
ahead.
belt. Or they could create a belt for Survivor Series. Or a trophy or something.
Nah, I hate
Because
those.
they do it every year.
I hate those.
They do it every year.
I hate those. I hate those. I hate some of them championships because they mean nothing. We haven't seen Barry Corbin has won the. I don't feel like they really doing much with him after this. The King of the Ring. They ain't do much for Cesaro, him, or Braun Strowman after the Andre Battle Royal. The greatest word in the tag team thing don't mean nothing. That greatest Royal Rumble thing don't mean nothing. You notice they give the all to the people that really don't do. They know they don't really push that much.
like they give it to the workhorses.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's like winning a trophy at a award show that nobody really cares about. Oh, you won a award show trophy. Wow, those things are paid for it anyway.
Oh yeah, I won the Source Awards for best R&B collabo.
Here's a placeholder trophy because we're not gonna really give you the championship. That's how I feel with that.
Which they have been doing. But back then, King of the Ring meant more. Especially when like Booker T had it, it did mean more. And especially in the 90s. Like King of the Ring meant more. Because it helped Austin with his career.
Because wasn't it like a one-day tournament at first? Like you qualified to get to the tournament?
It was
preliminary. Yeah, no, I'm saying it was a pay-per-view tournament. It was a one-day tournament. And that made sense, because think about it. That means you went to 4 matches and you came out on top on every one.
Fact.
Especially as, so, and we had qualifying matches to get there, like. Yeah, that's the thing I'm talking about. I don't know. I do know one thing. They need to let Triple H and his team take over. Because every time he took when all the I think we wouldn't have NXT in this brand supremacy match if it wasn't for 2 things. Because I think that that advertisement was fan made. SmackDown versus Raw versus NXT. I feel like that was fan made, and then people got stuck in SmackDown, and Triple H probably saw it. He was like, well, he said he saw, he did mention he saw it, so he like came up with the idea. Of, we got NXT stars here, let's take them there. Hey, look, Ellie.
I think it was whatever it is. It better be better than that wild card shit. I think that wild card rule they was running with for a minute really fucked up what they was doing because that shit was stupid.
Yes, it
Yeah,
did.
that was stupid as hell.
That could have been like the dumbest thing they've ever done, and I think it really fucked up their storytelling and shit. Because after a while, like people didn't know who was who or where they was coming from and shit. And sometimes you even like, why is there on here when you got all these Raw superstars? Why is all these SmackDown superstars on Raw when you got a bunch of unutilized Raw superstars that you can use and shit? It got real fucking stupid. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. Anybody, y'all got any last words to say on this?
Uh, I want wrestling to be better with WWE. AEW getting in, their women, something about their women is just off, and I don't know why.
I don't want to say it, but because I don't want to say it, but I,
I feel like they're not promoting them enough or something.
I don't think they're good. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think they're good
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I mean, a lot of people
compared
got
to
the,
the women WWE. That's just my opinion is very subjective, but I don't think they're as good
no, you're not
as
the
the
only
women
one with that.
on.
A lot of people even feel that women WWE is probably the is not probably, but is the strong suit of is the strong suit of that is probably the best thing they got going. That and Bray Wyatt.
Yeah,
I was
because I
really
will say
baffled by the people that told me Bray Wyatt was boring. I was like, you must not have been watching. Especially,
Because I would say this. I'm sorry. I'm not to cut you off. I would say this. The women in WWE, they have personality. And I'm giving don't get me wrong. I'm giving the women in AEW a chance. I really am. I really, but I don't know that girl Rio. As much as I like Japanese wrestlers, she's kind of tiny. Like I know Oscar and Kyrie are kind of tiny, but
they don't look
Oscar's
as
at
tiny
least
as her.
believable. Rio's like 100 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah, I think she
And
98 pounds.
yeah, she about 98 pounds. And Oscar, at least Oscar, she looked like she a fighter or some shit like that. So
But also a little got more meat on the bones than that girl.
yeah, she does.
Oscar probably about 135 at least. I want to say I could be wrong, but yeah, Real seems good, but I don't know. Everybody else, I'm not feeling Doctor in. I'm gonna be honest. We need some better names for people over in AEW.
How
Tony, you
you?
got any last words?
Hey, you ask him about how you feel about CM Punk being an announcer on Fox.
Yeah, I mean, never say never. I feel like this is Punk element where he don't have to worry about kissing nobody's ass. Make you fan it.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like it. And Punk is probably gonna be for the Punk probably gonna tell it like it is. Like that was garbage.
Yeah. He already said
I
that.
mean, Fox telling them like it is.
He already said that big dog teddy bear shit is some garbage.
Oh, Fox said it was some garbage.
Yeah.
I like the whole. I was liking it. I was liking the little thing they did with the music because that was funny. But then when I seen the thing came out there, I was like, come on, y'all could have did without this. Oh my god, what in the world? It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I feel like AEW is having a better tag team division, slightly, not by
I,
much.
I'm a bit. By the way, I miss the Usos for some reason. I miss the
Yeah.
Usos, and I know people are not liking the New Day getting the titles, but I do kind of understand it because they don't have no one else
They not.
that
I don't
they could
know.
like put it behind. Go ahead.
I was gonna say Revival looks so strong on NXT. You know what it is? That it NX Triple H gives them more time to wrestle and be themselves. I don't think he's really out there writing everybody's script for him like the main roster. And that's something Triple CM Punk has hit on backstage. I can't say it, but I did see clips from I did see clips on YouTube, and I think he was right. Like they need to let people be more organic, and you can tell when they actually let people go out there and be organic. You can be like, oh yeah, I feel that. But I
I've been
think everybody
saying
too.
that for the longest.
I feel like everybody's too scared to rebel because. But now I think we're gonna get more people to rebel a little bit, just because they know there's a better alternative out there than just indies. Or hoping there's one.
I agree with you. I really agree with you. I also hope because I feel like okay, one of my favorites is Apollo Cruz, and even though I call him generic black guy number 3, it's not because of him personally. It's the way they built him, and I've seen him off screen. He actually has a personality, and this is what Titus O'Neil was saying when he wanted to team up with him. And even though I call him generic black guy number 4, Titus O'Neil actually has that whole Titus Worldwide shit. I was fucking with it because it gave him personality.
Yeah.
I see a lot of greatness in Apollo Crews, and they're not to me. I feel like no one is seeing it, or I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to throw racism out there, but you know how Vince is with his black wrestlers.
Yeah.
I feel like because like the Street Profits, like you said it yourself, the Street Profits was better on NXT. When they're on Raw, they're kind of
Revival. I said revival, but Street Profits too. But you still see their personality, and I think Montez Ford has more personality than Dawkins.
yeah, and everybody's pushing Montez Ford because and to tell you the truth, I can see it.
Oh yeah.
Montez Ford, he looked like the life of the party. He really does look like the life of the. And as of Dawkins, he's not bad, but he had to find his groove a lot, and that's why he was in NXT as long as he was. Because people forget Angelo Dawkins was in NXT as long as Sami Zayn was, and he's just getting to the main roster.
Oh wow. Did not know that.
I've seen him, especially since I got Hulu, and I was watching. For some reason, I was binge watching a bunch of old NXT episodes with Sami Zayn and Neville was on there. I was like, oh shit, that's Angelo Dawkins. He's been here for a minute, and yeah, he's been through like 4 or 5 gimmicks.
I feel like he's gonna have to. I don't know. I don't want to say muscle up because everybody wants to see people more relatable to him. But we also want to see people with personality. He got some, but I think without Montez Ford, he's gonna fall to the wayside. So I hope neither one of them get injured.
Yeah, Angelo Dawkins is pretty funny, but I can see it too. If they ever split up, like Montez Ford is going to be the one going further, and him's going to fall to the wayside. Just like not JTG, but the other dude from
Chad.
Crime Time, Chad. Yeah. Even though I felt like they was trying to push Chad, JTG just had a better personality.
I don't even remember them dudes. You know.
It's all right. They was less. They was very short lived. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Anybody else got anything to say before I wrap it up?
I'm almost there. No, really.
All right. So I like to thank everybody coming to the after party, after party. You know what, the Mistake podcast. I finally get to talk
Yeah.
sports on here like I want to. I like to thank Tony and First Black Ginger for jumping on. So I'll see y'all at another time. Peace out.
Yep.